Hi there everybody, we're going to look at today substituting numbers into equations or expressions with one variable. Alright, it is what it is, it says what it is on the tin, and it shouldn't really be that difficult, and it isn't that difficult, so let's just kind of crack straight into it. Alright, so when substituting you need to replace a letter with a given number. Alright, just be very, very careful when I say replace. It's substituting in, but ultimately you have to consider basically what the operation is taking place when you're kind of doing it. All right, so if a equals 5, a plus 4 is going to be 5 plus 4. All right, so that's replacing it. It's very, very straightforward. It's equal to 9. Okay, 8 minus a, same as before. It's going to be 8 take away 5. Therefore, it's going to be 3. So literally just taking the value of a and then putting it into an expression. All right, and in this case, obviously, I'm able to kind of solve it or find out what the actual answer is. So 7a, and this is the one obviously I mentioned about replacing it. Well, you're not just going to put 75, all right, because that would be 75, which is unfortunately wrong, because 7a means 7 times a. Okay, so that means it's going to be 7 times 5, all right, so 7 times 5, all right, and that's going to give me 35. So yes, we are substituting, but we need to be careful in terms of how algebra and expressions are written so that we identify what it is or operations we are doing. So that one was times, wasn't it? Right, so another example, so y equals 10. Well, the line, as we've kind of come across before, means divide. So when I substitute that one in, it's going to be 10 divided by 2, which of course is going to be 5. And then a little bit more, I'm not saying complicated, but obviously a bit more to do, is that we're going to do 4 times 10, all right, and then add the 3. So there you go, 4 times 10, add the 3, and that's going to give me 43, all right. Should be fine, okay. Well, you might have a situation where you've got multiple variables, all right? So if you think about what we just had one number to kind of put in, but of course you might have a few. So here's an example where you've got s as 7 and t is equal to 2, all right? So they're the two variables. I've got my two numbers, so I just need to substitute both of them into something, all right? So here we go. So s minus t. So when I substitute s as 7 and t as 2, it's 7 minus 2, which of course is going to be 5. 3t plus s, all right, and that means 3 times t, so if that was 3 times 2 plus s, which is 7, so that's going to be 3 times 2 plus 7, there you go, and of course that's going to be 13, all right, so this method is very much the same, but of course you've got a number of different variables to kind of think about, so maybe what you write down is a little bit more than maybe what you did for the first one, all right, because obviously you've got more going on, all right, so the more that's going on, the more chances are that you're obviously going to make a mistake, all right. So here we've got v equals 3 and w equal 4. Well, let's have a look at this one. So 3v plus 2w. All right. Well, 3v, so 3 times 3, that's what that means. And then 2w, that means 2 times 4. All right, so write that out. So 3v equals 3 times 3 and 9, and 2w equals 2 times 4, which is 8. And of course, we're going to add those two together, which is going to give us 17. All right, so the process is very much the same for a single variable or multiple variable, but obviously it's going to just take a little bit more time and a little bit more concentration when you've got more than one. All right, the one to really watch out for, and again it always seems to be the one that trips a lot of students up, is just putting negative numbers in there and watching signs as you do it. Okay, so be especially careful when you're substituting a negative number and you're taking away like a double negative. All right, so let's have a look. So you've got a value of n equals minus 2. I'm going to put it in there. So that is minus 2 plus 6. So if I start at minus 2, I'm going to up the number line 6. That's going to take me to 4. All right. 3 minus n. Okay, so this is where we're talking about trying to trip you up a little and try and see if you're paying attention. Well, that is 3 take away negative 2. Right, and if I write that out, you can see I've got double negatives next to each other, and that becomes a plus. So 3 plus 2 is 5. All right, so be extremely careful with those negatives, and you can understand hopefully why I kind of mentioned it, because it's often the mistake that a lot of people kind of come across. All right, so here we go, 6 times n, well 6 times minus 2, well 6 times 2 is 12, but of course it's a positive times a negative, so it's going to be minus 12. There you go. Oh, so let's have a look at another one. So here we've got 5 plus 3g, so let's focus on 3g first. Well, 3 times minus 6 is minus 18, and there you go, and then I'm going to add 5 to that, so 5 plus minus 18 is going to give me minus 13. All right, so this is effectively substituting numbers into expressions, all right, and just from there, just put the kind of numbers in. And be careful with negative numbers. There's nothing more to it than that. Right, so please have a go. Get yourself to maths-school.co.uk. There's a bunch of questions over there for you to obviously practice, but please feel free to revisit this video at any point. Thanks for listening.